Welcome back to another special Daily Doji. Today we're doing technical analysis, specifically Elliott Wave Principle of the market, crypto and stock market. The stock market in general, and then individual crypto tokens. So we're going to be looking at the S&P. We're also going to be looking at Bitcoin, gold and silver, probably Ethereum, Doge and Shib, and we could look at Snap and MATIC, Crow, possibly Apple. If there's anything that you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll do them in the next video. You know how it goes, but this is not financial advice. I'm just a YouTuber and I'm interested in Elliott Wave Principle for myself. So this is just kind of how I think and look at things for me. Now that doesn't mean you should do anything off of what I say in this video. It just means that I'm counting Elliott waves, and if you don't understand Elliott waves, I think that it's really interesting. And I have other videos where I talk a lot about that, so I won't go into it again for the people who have already been watching. Alright, so let's get right into it. The S&P is taking a giant poo-poo. I'm a little biased too sometimes because I was shorting this. It's called HIBS. Right here it's a Direction Daily Beta Bear 3 times. But that's dangerous because sometimes the stock splits or reverse splits, and then if you weren't paying attention and don't have the right number of shares, it'll just steal them, which is obnoxious. But anyway, I won't go into that. But I am shorting this, and it's going really well today. Really well. So I do have some biases because some of these I'm trading, but you know, I wouldn't consider it a significant amount, really. So I have less of a bias probably than the other people you're watching. Let's look at gold and silver. I did the count for the S&P in the last video. Basically, I've been thinking that this is either was the top right here, or this is wave 4 coming down, and then the top is coming next. But it is looking more and more like that was the top. And people are calling for a bear market in the stocks, and they've been calling for it for a long time. There's been a lot of people that were bearish because this was just rocketing parabolic, and that's not sustainable. If you understand Elliott Wave Principle, you know that there's always going to be a correction. Always. There has to be a correction, and there are multiple corrections inside of a bull market even. So there are corrections at different levels happening often, and Elliott waves overlap, and there are waves inside waves, inside waves, inside waves to infinity, I suppose. But you know, up here is are the time frames that I look at. So depending on what time frame you're looking at is depending on what the waves are going to look like. So let me full screen the S&P. Okay. Now if we look at the monthly chart, then each one of these little lines is 1 month. Does this one only go back to 1994 or... Okay, so here we've got the monthly chart for the S&P 500. These are the top 500 companies in the US, and I was thinking that it's a big Elliott wave. 1, 2, see the yellow line? 3, 4, 5. Now that fifth wave is probably done. And if so, look at my buy zone. What could potentially happen? And quite honestly, this is frightening. I'm not wishing this or anything like that. I'm just saying that a wave 2 could come back all the way almost to the very bottom. I don't think that will necessarily happen, but I think more likely somewhere between the 0.618 Fibonacci line, which that's not an Elliott wave thing, but the 0.786 Fibonacci line, which those are very helpful in conjunction with Elliott Wave Principle to predict some things decently accurately. Now, it's not 100% foolproof, but for me, myself, this has been great to know Elliott waves the last 5 years. I've learned a lot that the mainstream is just not talking about this. Okay, so let's say this fifth wave is done, because it does look done. And I had spelled this out in the previous videos. So something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those were the subwaves of that last wave. So if that was the top, then let's just move this a little to here. And this is one possible pattern. I have a video specifically about corrective patterns. There's more. This is just one potential pattern, A, B, C. It could not do that. It could do more like A, B, C, like that. Something like that. Now this is going to take years to play out. So I'm years ahead of the game right now. I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm just saying that it's going to be a big pattern. It's going to be huge. And that's why people are... Someone was posting on Twitter that saying that Robert Kiyosaki is saying to buy beans and stuff. And it's like, he's been saying that for 20 years, first of all. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy beans. I have another video actually about what you should stock up on for the winter, but really doesn't have to be for winter. I posted that maybe last winter or the year before. That's what you should stock up on. I wouldn't take health advice from Robert Kiyosaki. That being said, I'm also not a medical professional, but yeah, I won't comment on that right now. So what you can see is that if this huge wave coming down, looks like we're about halfway down. I don't know why I drew this. I'm going to get rid of that for now. But this is not going to come straight down. It's going to take forever. And then this is going to take forever. But there are other patterns other than an ABC like that also. This might not be the corrective pattern that it takes. You know, it might do something more like what I thought at first, something more like this. This is kind of what we've got. We've seen this before in history, and I've talked about this in previous videos. So everything that I drew on here was from a different video, so you can see what I talked about when I was... Look, here's an ABC way back here. Look how long that took from 2000 spring down to October 2002, back up to October or November of '07. These are years going by because we're on the monthly chart. But you need to look at the big picture because the news and the idiot influencers aren't talking about Elliott waves because either they don't know about it or they don't know about it, probably. Okay. Let's move on. I think that was quite in-depth. And then, okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Make this full screen. All right, again, anything that I was circling here, it was from another video. Because I usually don't circle things for myself. That was for a video. So, right here, I have a wave 4 coming down. Look! Look at this box we're in right now. We're in my buy zone. I had it coming down all the way to about 19 or 20. Because that Y, and it's almost there right now. This might be it. I mean, this is coming pretty close. This is close enough for me, I think. That's pretty close. But, you know, it might keep coming down a little more. It could wick down below 19, but then come right back up. I'm not expecting it to stay below 19. I would be a little surprised if it went below 19 and stayed. So I would not be surprised if it bounces from either where it's at or down a little more. Because I was expecting this for a long time. And that didn't look done to me. In my last video where I said this could possibly have been done, but it doesn't look like the expanded flat correction usually looks. It usually looks more like... Now it's starting to look more like an Elliott wave correction. So I've been talking about this for the last year at least. I was making crypto videos 5 years ago, actually. I think I turned most of them to private because they were just not that great of videos, but I was talking about like Bitcoin Cash forking or something in an old video. I cringe at my old videos, and I'll probably cringe at this because I'm pushing myself so hard that I usually make a lot of progress, and then I look back at what I was doing and I think, yikes. But anyway, that's just on a behind-the-scenes note. So this is starting to look near what I was expecting for the last long time. People are very emotional about this topic. People are on Twitter are really... Oh, by the way, I'm on Twitter. I'm an artist, and I post my art on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Douglas NFT Art. If you're not into NFTs, I'm not here to convince you, but as an artist, it's a no-brainer for me to keep track of my work on the blockchain. Is awesome. So this is looking, this looks like this third wave coming down. I'm taking a little bit of time with this because I see 5 waves down on this very last wave. We might see a little subwave up and one more wave down to 20. Or it could just... I have to go to a different time frame. But I think we're close to what I was expecting to be a bottom. I'm pretty happy with my prediction. I know, and I'm not selling, definitely not. People that are selling right now are obviously not knowing Elliott waves. I think for me, this is the time to buy. And if you weren't buying yet, this would be probably a good time to start. Hypothetically, that's not financial advice. I was just throwing out ideas, but definitely not. Don't want to take your investment decisions on a whim. You should learn this yourself, I think. The more you learn, the more you earn. Some people just get lucky, but I don't think that's a good strategy to get lucky. Okay, I'm going to move on from this because I'm not going to look at those every little subwave right now. I'm going to keep an eye on it though for myself, and this is I've been wanting to get some Bitcoin. These are more along the prices that I was wanting it at, because guess what? I was trading all the way back here in 2017 when it made the previous high of 19,600 or whatever it was, 19,000 something, right below 20K. Didn't quite get to 20K, and then it came down hard. It came down hard, and it was carnage all the way down. And I think it was the crash was worse then. Like the emotions and everything were insane. But I was learning Elliott waves, luckily, and I got out at a good time. But it wasn't, it wasn't like anything life-changing for me back then. It was, well, actually, it was life-changing in the way that it got me studying these things. So it's better to learn than to just throw a bunch of money at something. I keep saying that, and keep saying warning, warning in every video. We've been in a bear market. Even this wave up was it was a counter-trend wave in a bear market. Corrections don't just go straight down. They go in multiple waves. So when this B wave was up at the top, I was saying, hey, we might be going into another bull market, but I don't really think so, because I didn't see the 5-wave patterns of a bull market. So Elliott waves saved me again, and I was saying, hey, yeah, this might take off right here, but I think this is an expanded flat correction, and I talked about expanded flat corrections in previous videos. Okay, enough about that, let's move on. Gold. People were making fun of gold, and I was making fun of those people. On Instagram, I was seeing, like, for the last year or more, people saying, making fun of gold and, like, calling people a boomer. Oh, you're a boomer. You're a boomer if you like gold. What? And then showing, like, these weird biased graphs. Like, if you would have bought gold this time last year, and then if you would have bought Bitcoin or something. But that's like people say comparing apples and oranges. You're not comparing, are we comparing, here's how to compare Bitcoin to gold. Because I talked about this in a video probably a year ago. I made a video about silver, because Wall Street Bets there's a silver squeeze, and there's a Reddit community stacking silver. It's called Wall Street Bets /silver, I think, or Wall Street Silver. Yeah, that's it. I haven't been on there in a little while, but it's a cool spot to learn about silver if you're interested. And why silver and not gold? Well, look right here. Gold-silver ratio. Right now, you can get, for 1 ounce of gold, you can get 86 ounces of silver, which is crazy. Historically, it's at like 10, 12 or 20. Now it's been up the last few years, but people are saying that this is being manipulated. So that's something to look into if you're curious. Well, actually, people aren't just saying it's being manipulated. Giant companies have been caught manipulating it and fined. Like $900 million, I think. Was it JP Morgan or was it Goldman Sachs? Oh, man. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but let me know in the comments which company was fined for manipulating the silver price recently. That was within the last 2 years. It wasn't like 10 years ago. All right, let's move on. I don't want to make this video too long. I made a lot of points already, important points, I think, to learn as much as possible. It's always a good idea to learn as much as possible. All right, here we go. So I was hoping that we would see another wave down in Doge. I thought that that could potentially have been the bottom, but I didn't really think it was because I didn't see the subwaves. And if you watched the last video, I was having a hard time counting these subwaves down, and I thought that we would probably have another one down. And this middle wave right here, Cardano kind of did a similar thing, except it rocketed on that mid wave. So these waves are predictable. There's only so many patterns they can display. So when I don't see one pattern spell out, then I can expect something else. That's why I always try to have more than one wave count. And someone was calling for 5-cent Doge maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, and people were ridiculing them. I don't remember who it was. I just hear this stuff from people in my live feeds or people in the comments. So please comment, actually. It is nice to have the community voicing. Now, the farther we get from this white line, the 200 moving average, the more likely it's going to bounce up. Try to bounce up to this line. So we're getting farther from it, and I think, for me, this is looking like a juicy opportunity. Now, as far as this is going to come down, I would personally want to ladder in the whole way down, or wait. A safer strategy, which wouldn't necessarily be what I would actually do, but it would be smart to wait for the bottom to be confirmed and then ladder in on the way up in the next wave up. There's going to be a next bull market, and it's going to be insane. So it's hard to time the exact bottom, but it's not totally impossible. Most people say, I've been seeing a lot on Twitter that, like, people saying, no one can call the bottom, no one can know, nobody knows. And it's like, wait a minute, you can have a good amount of predictive power. Through Elliott waves is the best way that I've found. If there's anything else that good, I don't know about it. And there are a lot of different indicators. I only use a couple of them because it's already clustered enough on this chart. So anyway, I think we're nearing the bottom. And I think it's safe to say that. I don't think that It's a crazy, and also the word on the street on Twitter is like really weird. It's really dead and negative and lonely on Twitter and weird. But there are some people saying, when it's dipping like this, there are some people saying, whoa, good buying op. Wow, good buying op. If you're really into crypto, then it's a good buying opportunity, potentially. Now, again, they were saying that the whole way down. So I was waiting for it to make this next dip to hopefully 5. Now, it could dip to 4. I don't think there's anything stopping it from going lower. However, it does look like it's starting to turn around. Let me try to look at these subwaves. Shib is starting to turn around. All right, when are these going to start reversing? I know that they're going to be reversing when people are least expecting it. Also, Ethereum is looking pretty good. I was waiting for it to get down to these levels, and I think those are better levels to me than they were before. And then here's HEX, which is something my friend was investing in. It is now, when this came down like XY, I said right here, oh look, I have it circled. I talked about that in a video. I said if it stays above that white line, we're good to go. But if it comes back below it, it's going to make another. Now, I don't own any HEX, I don't think, so I'm not biased on it. It's easy for me to just look at the waves, and since I don't own it, I can just say, if the wave fails here, it's another X wave, and this could be a, this could be more like something like this. A, B, C, D, E, something like that. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This is one of the possible corrective patterns. It depends on how, now you can have a double or triple correction where this wave will fail. 1, 2, 3 waves coming up. 1, 2, 3 waves coming up. That's how you know it was not a bull market, because they were waves of 3 and not waves of 5. But now it's looking like a good, I mean, looking a lot better. I think it's, a lot of these are, there are a lot of opportunities emerging to me right now. I wish I had more liquid to go all in on a lot of different things, but I'm risky and you might not be, so don't go off of what I'm doing. And I've been warning people for the last year. Does anyone really heed the warnings? Hopefully. Ooh, even Google's coming down pretty hard. That must be bringing the whole S&P down with it. Snapchat is also starting to now, I don't know the fundamentals of the company. Is it a good company? Is it good management? Those are things that you can't see on the chart. You just see the market psychology on the chart and the value of what people think it's worth any given day. Crow is down. I bought a little bit more. And MATIC is down. I think I bought a little bit more of that. I mean, just a little bit. I'm really watching and waiting. And this is, for me, this is starting to be time to gobble. But it's been a brutal bear market for this whole time. And not many people have much left, which is why the chart looks like it looks. That's the reason it's doing this, is because of the people trading. And only about 1% of the people own like 90% of crypto. So what those people do is going to affect everyone else, whether you like it or not. That's the danger of it. One of the dangers. The other dangers are you and your own human emotions. Yeah, Apple is also coming down, the beginning of a correction. Now I was shorting the S&P because I was expecting this, and now these are confirming it. And now I wish I sold a little bit of my shorts, but I kept some of them. And yeah, I wish I would have kept more, but I still do have some. Shopify is also starting to turn around on the MACD. It didn't cross over yet, but it looks like it's just crossing over right now. And it didn't start upticking on the histogram yet, but yeah, at some point, I think that's going to be a good play. I have started several Shopify stores, so I actually have used the company's products. I guess I have used Apple products too, and I've used Google products too. So I know a little bit about the fundamentals, but not, this channel is not about the fundamentals. This video is not. But it is getting far away from that 200 EMA, that white line. So it's going to bounce at some point. It's going to be a nice juicy bounce too. If this keeps making a wave down and goes even lower, I'm probably going to get some. As of right now, I might have a little bit, but not a lot. But this is looking like a good dump. So, and this is starting to turn around. And also the RSI is starting to make some kind of signal for me to start being interested. So that might be nice. Shopify in the mid-term to long-term. Short-term, it could go a little lower. Probably it could. Very well. It looks like it might be happening soon. PayPal looks like it might go lower here too. If PayPal survives this collapse, it could be a nice recovery. This is normal for Elliott waves to go up and down like that. It's normal. It's not a freak thing. Alright, well that's about it. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know in the comments. This has been quite a long video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you thought. Stay tuned. I've been filming a lot of outdoor videos. Some of them I posted about like farming and stuff. Also, we've been foraging wild herbs and mushrooms. That could be helpful to some people during, but the videos are, I'm trying to make them more entertaining and less educational. But that being said, they're still educational. I just want them to be better and more interesting. The more entertaining it is, the more educating, the more people will find it. All right, thank you so much. See you in the next video, and have an amazing day on purpose. Peace.